Post-production Ghaly here. I just thought I'd let you know that we actually filmed this one, but the footage overall looks pretty bad and not something we want to represent us for our first full-length filmed podcast. But if you follow us on social medias, we'll be uploading snippets and clips from the recording on with the podcast.
Hello.
We were gone for a month.
We were in the mines.
I had to give up my liver. I'm now on dialysis constantly.
There's a whole machine behind him. You can't even see.
Yeah. I mean, camera trickery edited it out.
It's our first time filming.
Yeah,
right?
be gentle.
It's going to be, it's different. It's just going to be different. I'm not going to say it's going to be worse or better. It's just going to be different. When you're talking to the camera, if you want to address the camera,
May I address the camera? May I address the audience?
If you want to address the camera, I've spoken to the camera. It's fine.
Is it cool with it?
It's fine with it. Give me a nod. It's fine with it.
All right.
But look into the lens. Don't look at the viewfinder. Imagine if I was like looking at your forehead when I was like, that's...
You're right.
Okay.
I didn't even consider that.
Yeah. It's a small thing. But anyway, welcome back. It's been a little while. We've been making arrangements for something like this to happen.
Yeah.
And now something like this is happening. So
welcome.
Be thankful.
We did this for you.
we did this for you. Look, it's going to be the same format, except you get to see our faces now. That's more or less the difference. Am I the arsehole for not disclosing I had plastic surgery to my boyfriend?
I mean, you don't really disclose you have plastic surgery. It's a bit bait, isn't it?
It's noticeable.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's noticeable.
Well, how did you go from a C cup to a triple J? Like,
it's a massive.
Whoa! How'd you get through the door, darling?
You have to sidle every time you go through. Should I just get into it? Should I just read it?
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Okay. I, 26 female, have been dating Max, 25 male, for 4 months. When I was 22, I had a nose job as I broke my nose twice as a kid and left it with a large lump. Twice. I mean, once is... Okay, anyway.
One begs the question of how, but...
Then, at 23, I had a breast augmentation that bumped me up 2 cup sizes. These were lifelong insecurities that I was bullied over, and it was really relieving to get them done. On to the present. I met Max through a friend and things have been great. Last night, I was strolling through my social media while on the sofa with him. I stopped on an old classmate's vacation photos where she wore a bikini and frankly had very obvious implants. She looks great, happy for her, but you can tell. Max glanced over at that moment and said, gross. I asked him what the deal was, and he said women who get implants or other surgeries are a huge turn-off to most guys, and how men prefer natural over 2 balloons, and how insecure she looks. I couldn't help but laugh and said, so you're turned off by me? He got very confused and asked what I meant. I informed him that I had procedures done before. He kept denying it and saying I was joking until I showed him old photos of me. He got quiet and left shortly after. I got a text saying I should have disclosed this on the first date, how I led him on and that he needs to reconsider things. It's the next day, haven't had anything, I'm bewildered. Am I the arsehole?
Can you imagine that on the first date? What do you like to do for fun? These were not God given.
They're not real.
This is Dr. Wang.
It's gonna be really playing on my mind if I don't address that.
Also, this. It went through a rough phase.
Twice as a child. Broke it twice as a child. Imagine how insane you would seem if you just started opening up about childhood trauma immediately on the first date. You're like, I was bullied to fuck because of my small tits and my twice broken nose. So all of that's been fixed. It's like a second-hand car or something.
The thing that cracks...
Discussing an MOT. Like...
He's just checking off lists. Like, he's like, I don't think you're road ready, mate.
It doesn't make any sense. He's an idiot for assuming that should be opened up on the first date.
The funny thing to me is that he talks about, men like natural, the women who do it insecure, yet, he couldn't clock that his own partner.
They've been together for 4 months. For 4 months.
Yeah, so it's safe to say they've been intimate.
Yeah.
And
he's obviously, he's like, well, that was good. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You've obviously enjoyed the 4 months. I don't know, all of a sudden you're aware of it. You're like, this can't go on. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's like, who cares? You're the only person. You've seen them. played with him. You and like maybe a few other people are the only people that fully know about this. So who cares?
I mean, fundamentally, I do agree that, I mean, I don't think in the first date this should be addressed, but early on is ideal, in my opinion. It's not something worth reconsidering over, you know.
There's
an edit.
There's an edit.
Okay.
There's an edit. I got a text from him a few minutes ago asking to meet up, as he thinks he wants to continue the relationship and wants to talk things over. How is this even a point of contention? It's not like she was like, oh, and I killed a family of 4.
Well, I really wish you told me in the beginning.
This is really, that has thrown me for a loop. Like, that would throw someone for a loop. That's crazy. That would be mental. Breast implants and a nose job to fix a broken nose.
I mean, listen,
Really not a
you
big
liked
deal.
what you saw, my friend.
Exactly.
You liked what you saw, you went to bed with it.
That's what I'm... Okay, there's more. After all these comments and some thinking, I set back along the lines of his reaction and made me realise he's not the partner I'm looking for, and that I've decided to not continue our relationship. So yeah, I'm single now, kind of confused if I should mention this to future dates before we're official to weed out any more like him. How do you even bring this up? Oh well, I like me. I'm content with my natural and unnatural parts, and I'll find someone who doesn't have huge hang-ups on plastic surgery.
Well, he doesn't have a huge hang-up. He just got caught off guard.
He did handle it like a child, though.
I agree. You say something stupid without realising what present company...
Dude, when I was like 8, I remember I was in like a group environment with a lot of other children, and one child turned to me because I don't know, it was easy material for me as an 8-year-old to roast. You remember Lally Callies?
Lely Kelly's.
Yeah, Lally
Like
Callies. The shoes.
There's a massive in Italy, you know.
I mean,
They had an obnoxious song with it too.
Yes. Lally Callies, the shoes. Oh yeah, I don't want to sing the...
Christ alive, the Italian version was practically beat for beat the same.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it was vile.
It was incredibly catchy.
It made me want to like commit acts of violence.
I think it was on like that advert would play on like kids TV a lot, right?
Dude.
And so some one of my friends turns to me and goes, "Oh, you remember Lally Callies?" I immediately obviously go into my 5 minutes on Lally Callies, right? And I was just roasting Lally Callies.
You look down and you check what she's wearing.
That's the issue. So I then pivot, turn, look down, and there's a girl there wearing Lally Callies.
You had the beta test of what are those, basically.
Yeah. And more or less. Really, really before my time. Like,
wow. What a visionary.
And so, yeah, I looked up at the girl's face and she was a little more...
Tears streaking.
She was a little mortified. She was like, I like them. And I was like, oh.
Well, I don't. So you should be ashamed of yourself.
Part of my bit was saying, like, the ugliest shoes or something. Because I think that was part of the song. Like, it was this...
Oh, you sang a song?
Yeah, I mean, I made up a horrible version.
So she asked you, what'd you think of Lally Kelly? And you got up on stage with a top hat and a...
Someone else asked me, like, they were like, Lally Callies, and then I immediately went into the...
You burst into song.
I went, yeah, and I was like, ugly shoes, and then it was part of it.
You essentially gave her a diss track.
It was unknowing, like, obviously, if I read the room, if I saw, you know, I would have just been like, yeah, I'm not really a fan, but, like, I jumped the gun, and that moment haunts me, you know?
Bet it haunts her.
It probably does.
She went home, set fire to those shoes.
Probably.
I can't continue like this.
Probably. I mean, it was, yeah, I went in.
What compelled you to destroy this poor girl's self-esteem?
It was just funny. I mean, I didn't know that she was wearing them. I didn't know she was wearing them. If I knew she was wearing them, I wouldn't have said anything. I don't know where I'm going with this bit. I feel like, but yeah, look,
the point is that you should always fit.
The point I'm trying to make, sorry, I'm losing my mind here. The point I'm trying to make here is I was not aware of the impact my words were having on someone around me, right? And it backfired a little bit because I think I upset someone. And I think this man had the same experience, but in later life.
He spoke without thinking. Some dudes really are against it, you know. They really are. They really do feel like, you know, natural is the only way, but... Some dudes are the opposite. Some dudes.
They love it.
They love it.
They love it. But then that's just men in general. They're like, we're just like
making blanket statements is
for all men.
For all men.
Like getting up on your podium with your like stack of papers. Okay, I have a statement to make to everyone. All men like this. All men don't like this. But it's also unfair to this woman as well because it's like This is an insecurity she's been dealing with. She finally feels as though it's been
I do agree.
resolved.
Had she told him, I mean, I'm not saying she had to tell him on the first date, but I wouldn't know how it works with like modern dating. I don't claim to know the intricacies or.
Yeah, me neither.
But
That's what makes this so great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one could imagine that before you take your trousers off, you'd have a conversation with someone about what you're into. No,
Yeah.
right? It stands to reason.
But if the job was really good,
then that's a testament to the surgeon because he was none the
Exactly.
wiser, my
Exactly.
friend. But the argument I'm making is that had he had any inclination or any awareness that she had work done, he would have thought twice about sharing that shit-fucked opinion, to be fair.
yeah.
So it's kind of on her, to
But
be
dude,
honest.
the fact that he calls her back, that like dial tone, like
Actually, I really like the shape of them.
Yeah, he's like,
Can we...
he's like hand against the wall. He's like, I've been thinking about it, and I'm willing to put up with your fake tits. Like, what is? How are you, the audacity?
True.
That nose isn't too bad, too. Right? Like, I'm so glad that she done this.
I always
guy.
thought you had your mother's nose, but...
Yeah, I'm so glad she done this guy. It does not.
I feel like everyone's...
Huge reevaluation.
I feel like everybody made a mistake here. He just spoke without thinking, but then again, he was ignorant on the matter.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have known he was going to hurt her feelings by... He could have reacted a lot better when he found out that she did have work done. I'll give you this.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, a lot of things could have been handled better, but maybe this is best left as a learning experience for her.
And it's such a superficial thing as well. Like, let's say that this thing works out lifelong. 30, 40 years, everything's going to start to sag anyway. Before that, probably. So who cares? It's such a small, superficial thing.
He could have handled it a lot better.
Oh, for sure. Or he could have flipped the whole thing on its head and she's like, well, actually, I had work done.
Couldn't tell. You look stunning.
Yeah, exactly. He could have flipped. He's like, really? Whoa. That's crazy.
Let me have a go at them.
No, can I? That's mad. Really? Seriously?
Whoa.
But
that's
instead,
crazy.
instead he decided to like exit to like the left side of the stage.
He did a free
Yeah,
head strategy.
audience clapping.
Performance acts, they pull you off stage with like that
Oh,
hook.
yeah.
That's the equivalent of what was done to him.
He finished himself. I'm glad that she
Good for
she
her.
got him to sling his hook.
Good
Like,
for her. I mean,
just the audacity, just to double down on it as well. He had so many moments where he could have just gone.
it was just handled poorly.
Yeah.
Really and truly, if it was just one of those relationships, then it's better off to just play it off as a learning experience and move on. And maybe he learned something from it. Maybe she learned something from it. Everybody's
He fumbled. He fumbled
he
the bag.
fumbled the breast
Both of them.
both times.
And the nose.
And the nose.
Should we look at the comments?
Yes, please.
God, please.
I'm
We're running out.
I just don't want to make any more booby puns.
Right.
Before I read the comments, I will just say that this is a very loose verdict of everybody sucks. Just to clarify that, because I think
Everybody sucks.
because it could have been handled better by both parties, in my opinion.
Yeah, to be fair.
She didn't have to just be like, nah,
Yeah.
you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. Because that's kind of like
That's a
avoiding.
good point.
That's
too.
kind of avoiding the whole problem-solving thing. And if you're not willing to do that, I don't believe you're going to have much hope in future relationships either.
True.
Because if you're just kind of being like, if that's the first hurdle, and you're just kind of like, you've been given an easy out, then
That's a valid point.
yeah.
That's a very valid point.
I think, as I said before, not to sound like a broken record, but both parties could have handled this better.
For sure.
The reason why I feel it important to give you my verdict, because obviously everyone here, because we all know Reddit's an echo chamber.
True.
Everyone here is going for she's not the arsehole, and I beg to disagree. And the first comment is, not the arsehole, you lucked out that he showed you this side at 4 months. You could have been married before you found out he's this shallow / misogynistic. I don't think misogynistic is right here.
Wait, read the rest of the comment.
Edit. Assuming women take most men's preference for natural breasts into consideration when deciding they would like breast augmentation is a misogynistic viewpoint.
I kind of agree.
Yeah, but women don't have to appeal to a majority to find a partner. That's the good thing about it.
I mean, no one does.
No one does.
Yeah.
Like-
There's someone else.
Like,
for
I've never
everyone.
met anyone who said anything along the lines of, "Oh, I would do this, but most dudes don't find this attractive."
Yeah, I mean, you've been on the train and you've seen like like not odd couples, but you know what I mean, like two people who are away from societal norms, and you're like, they look good together. You know what I mean? No,
I just assume the dude has a lot of money.
yeah. Oh, come on.
It's true though.
No. But sometimes it might just work. You know what I mean? Sometimes it might just work. What? Go on. Don't start doing office moments with me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
go
sorry.
on.
I won't do it again. I was just waiting for an opportunity. I think the dude's well ignorant though, but misogynistic is a bit much. It's a bit of a stretch. He is ignorant because he's saying he's general. I mean, he did say, women who get breast augmentations are just insecure. If we have to be really technical with it, he wasn't really far from the mark because she got augmentations because of insecurities. Not saying she was wrong to do it, but if we want to be technical, I feel like he's ignorant, but he was half right. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure.
Still an arsehole.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got ground in this situation, but I think he loses a little bit when he reacts like a
Petulant child.
yes.
Like, man, you didn't tell me.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
Like, been busting nuts over.
Dude, my nuts are now invalid.
Like,
They're going back in.
4 months.
I would like a refund on my nuts.
Yeah.
Like, not happening.
Why?
man.
What's the problem?
Those
What's
are
the problem?
spent.
Anyway. Okay.
Not the arsehole. His reaction and comment that you should have disclosed this on the first date makes him childish. Yes, I agree.
First date, impossible.
First date, no. People overestimate what you can discuss on a first date, man. Do you know how important first impressions are? Like, if you and I are on a date, right? You and I, and you say to me, "What are your hobbies?"
Plastic surgery.
Plus, I just love getting Botox, man.
What are your thoughts on you like keep dancing around it?
Hey, so how do you feel about circumcision? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're probably
like-
eating, having this conversation.
Yeah, 100%. You're like establishing all these bases. That's definitely not first date like conversation.
No, not the arsehole. You shouldn't have to disclose your medical history for someone to date you. Fair enough. That's a fair enough statement to make. Not the arsehole. Boyfriend had a very black and white version of how the world is, and you just showed him that there is grey. He should have disclosed that he was a close-minded arse on your first date. Bullet dodged. Your ex is incapable of compromise, and you know that now. Move on. Well, he's not really incapable of compromise because he said, "I'm willing to give it another go," and then he kind of got shut down and got told to do.
That's like a terrible way of like not even I'm sorry for the way I acted.
True. Do you
like,
know what? An apology completely.
I'm willing to. Yeah, it's like I'm willing to put up with your defects. Basically, is how I read it. It's like that's not such a terrible.
Look. I will subject myself to perfectly round breasts. I know. I'm not a hero.
Shh.
It must be done.
It's okay. Look, I know. Tell your friends about me. I'm a hero.
And if they have augmentations, good. I will let them in because
Yeah.
most men will not.
Yeah.
No.
Look, I'm a hero.
I'm
a
not
hero.
the Messiah.
Yeah.
I'm just open-minded.
Look, I'm just some guy. Look.
I'm just some guy who really likes perfectly round breasts.
I'm just like you. I'm just like you.
Except mine jiggle.
Idiot. Next story.
Am I the arsehole for calling my girlfriend selfish for not picking up my kids from school?
Seems like a very mundane problem.
Very mundane. Let's see how they made a relationship-ending situation out of it.
Okay, go on.
I'm not saying they did. I'm saying let's see if
If humans are complex, so you can make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
definitely.
Alright, go on. Yeah, I'm curious.
I have male 36. Before I keep reading, sometimes I really question why they feel the need to put ages in.
I mean, this matters though. If he's got kids.
I, male 36, have been with my girlfriend, female 32, for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 boys. For the adults, they put capital M, and for the kids, they put lowercase m.
Oh, less than. Not
Less
quite,
than an M.
Not quite, yeah.
Not quite M yet.
Not quite capitals yet.
I have 2 boys. One male 13 and another one 9. From my previous relationship. Their mother is not in the picture. I work full time and my girlfriend used to stay at home and take care of everything else. I still help out here and there, yet she would complain about the kids causing constant mess, not receiving proper discipline, accidents like breaking a vase, and the list goes on. She complained that she is more of a parent than I am, which is not true since I provide an income. That
means nothing.
That doesn't validate your point.
Well, it doesn't mean nothing, but it isn't as...
Well, you're fulfilling your societal role as provider.
Yeah.
But that doesn't end...
Hey, they've got clothes on their backs, so...
I've got a real gripe with this mentality.
You got warmth and clothes. So, what's the issue? You're not fully adjusted to society and don't know how to behave. And
you want me to give you
discipline,
acknowledgement,
and
you want me to give you listen. 9 to 5, my friend.
I don't have time.
I don't look between 6 o'clock and 11:30. It's me time.
It is me time.
They disrespected us. They disrespected you.
I'm their dad.
Why is my dinner not ready?
They can't take that away from me, no matter how hard they try.
And they've tried.
They've tried. Rituals and everything. They can't.
Release me from this blood.
They can't. They are stuck with me whether they like it or not.
I really do have a gripe with...
Anyway, I gotta go do my double shift at Foot Locker. So you gotta go...
Because someone has to.
You gotta go... I gotta go find those size 7 Adidas in the back. You gotta look after these weens. It's what you signed up for 2 years ago when we established this relationship.
I really hate that mentality of I provide so I don't have to do shit around the house.
It's stupid. It is stupid.
Like, it's... Okay, listen, if you provide as a parent, that's sick. But when you come home... But you don't stop being a dad because you got a job, you get me?
The best parents, in my humble opinion, are the ones that they do the job, but they don't remind you that they're doing the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just do, they do what's supposed to be done because, ultimately they didn't pull out. So actions have consequences. I mean, this is a result of their situation. I'm not saying like everyone always plans on pulling out.
No. But the argument is that around the house when there's kids involved, when there's kids involved, many hands make light work. It's useless for you to adopt the mentality of, well, I provide, and my responsibilities end there. No, motherfucker. You do the dishes. You make dinner from time to time. You clean the fucking floor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like just okay. I respect people who do provide for their family because there are some men who don't do that either. I do respect people who do, but when you start saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, but I work all day, so when I come home I should be able to relax." No, because before they were kids, if you came home,
how old are his kids again? Sorry,
13 and 9.
Yeah, they still require a lot of
attention and nurturing.
Kind of like
But the point I'm making is that first of all, she's complaining about kids being kids, but his mentality of I provide an income, so I'm just as much of a parent does not prove anything.
True.
And I feel like we've gone on a bit of a tangent over it, but I just really have a gripe with that mentality.
No, I get you. It's a valid reason to have a gripe.
So to continue, she complained that she is more of a parent than I am, which is not true since I provide an income. Yet she decided she wanted to go back to work and start looking. She found a potential job, and her interview was yesterday. I called her to remind her to pick the kids up from school since she's responsible for it, but she said she was about to start her interview and told me to go get them. I was stunned. I told her I couldn't because I was at work. She said that I could take a break, but I refused because it would have affected my job. I asked if she'd take 10 minutes to quickly go pick them up, but she refused. We ended up getting into an argument and me telling her she should have figured something out beforehand. She blew up saying that I'm the parent and that she was tired of being at my beck and call all the time. The kids ended up being picked up by my friend 40 minutes later, which made them upset. Made who upset? The friend or the kids?
I think the kids.
I
think kids, they're like 9 and 13?
Yeah.
They got so much life to live. 40 minutes is nothing.
Do you know what? They probably went to different schools as well.
40 minutes is actually kind of an issue.
What?
Making them wait 40 minutes. I mean, unless you rang in somehow and said, hey, there's a bit of a situation going on. My girlfriend Slash that woman that lives with us. She wants to start earning an income all of a sudden.
What the fuck is all this female empowerment stuff, man?
Dad.
She wants to be independent.
Dad, I thought you said, you said she'd just be at home all the time.
Why are my tendies not ready?
Picking up our shitty underwear. It's not fair. So anyway, yeah. No.
When I was in...
Derek's picking you up from...
I hate Derek. His fucking car smells of pads. When I was like in secondary school, my mum would make me pick up my sister from school, right? Because she wouldn't trust her to go home on her own. Yes, she'd trust me to go get her from school. It was peak because I was always getting into detention after school. So I had no way of telling my mum I was in detention after school for like thankfully our schools were only a 10-minute walk apart.
Yeah.
But I would get there and my sister would be sat in reception. She'd be fuming and I'd be like...
Yeah, of course.
I'd
It's
be
like
like,
she was in detention.
Yeah. And the receptionist would always give me shit like, this can't keep happening, da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but the receptionist was working anyway.
Yeah, like... And then she'd come, she'd get up all huffy and puffy and I'd be like, come on, let's go. Why are you late again? I was like, you know why. We both know why.
I've got a question.
Go on.
There's a bit of a tangent. Do detentions actually work? Like, do they actually have their intended effect? I've always wondered that.
I ask, what else can teachers do to you?
Well, they can't hit you anymore.
No.
Do you think that there were less detentions back then because they were able to hit you? Because at some point they were like, so I'm going to waste an hour of your time instead. Like, they couldn't...
They were sore from lashing.
Yeah. Well, at some point the government was like, no more hitting the kids. It's not your place to hit the kids. And so they were like, well, we've got to discipline them somehow.
I don't know, man. I couldn't answer that. We'd have to look into it.
No, but let's be ignorant about it for a second.
I mean, one would argue
I don't.
teachers got the best of both worlds back then. They could all beat the shit out of them in detention.
True. Throw chalk at them. Like throw.
Quick draw of a cane.
Yeah, like my mum's talking about like teachers flipping tables and like, using big long rulers to like hit kids.
Teachers were hardcore back then.
Yeah, it's crazy. Imagine if you were one of those teachers like, I'll get revenge or something. I don't know. You had some weird twisted mentality, and then as you got into the school system, the government went, no more hitting.
You'd be blue balled to fuck.
Like you wouldn't even know what to do. Imagine all those kids as well, the misbehaving kids. They must have come in like 10 feet taller. Like, you guys can't even hit us anymore.
The thing is that back in the day, teachers had a lot of power. And essentially for the parents to reclaim some of that power, they would have to resort to the top brass to intervene.
Yeah.
Like head teachers and, I don't know, maybe Ofsted or whatever. Now, teachers are walking on eggshells.
Oh, constantly. All the time.
Because if they say the wrong thing, that's them.
There's definitely lines where they can't even share opinions about most things as well.
A lot of teachers I've heard, like not even with the pupils, with their peers, are afraid of sharing opinions because they might get done for it.
I mean, ultimately it's work though, innit? Like,
I'm not gonna go into it, but there's a lot of radical opinions in the faculty room these days, which people who don't agree with those
whoa, we gotta go to third period. He made graduation.
I mean, that's school related.
He's encouraging the youth.
What I'm making is that there's been a complete 180 with the attitudes of teachers. Teachers used to be like gangsters back in the day. Now they're like, they've got no power here, Jackie Weaver.
But I mean, they shouldn't be allowed to hit kids.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's interesting how much the power dynamic has shifted. At home, I got into a huge argument with my girlfriend, calling her selfish for doing this to the kids and ditching them like that. She said that she had an important interview and that I, as the parent, could have figured something out instead of expecting her to drop what she was doing and pick the kids up. She called me an arsehole, then went to stay with her mum.
It seems very unfair. There's 2 cases now of men just being weird.
The problem here is communication.
It's the answer to like almost every problem, it seems.
More often than not, communication will solve many.
I would go as far as saying most problems.
Most is a bit, because sometimes it's not communication but cooperation as well.
Like maybe like 60% of problems.
Where did we get this number from?
I don't know. There's a lot of
No,
problems
no,
out there. There's probably millions of problems out there.
The point
the nitty gritty of it all.
The point I'm trying to make is that one or both of them should have accounted for the children, okay? Knowing that one of them was going to be unavailable. That would have been problem solved. There seems to be just a lot of irrationality here. Now, if the partner, the girl, she knows with her having more of a free time, if she knows that it's usually her job to pick up the kids,
Yeah.
typically one would expect that if she's taken up a new commitment, the kids are going to become no longer accounted for.
Yeah.
So surely the sensible thing for either of them to do would have been to come with an alternative plan of who's going to be picking up the kids. They could have discussed that with her time being taken up by this interview, which is important because ultimately I can't see extra income for the house being a bad thing. There could have been easy resolution, but instead they're resorting to name calling and shit, which to me just sounds a bit unhealthy.
Well, I think putting all of this pressure on your girlfriend to pick up the kids, even though she had the foresight to be like, yo, I got a job interview. Hey, I'm trying to earn money again.
The way I see it, you got a job, right?
I do.
You do, yes.
Me personally.
Yes, you personally.
Yes.
I don't know what that's like because I'm a bum.
I am employed.
Yes, right. So your job is a commitment, okay?
Yes.
So obviously, for the sake of honouring that commitment, you communicate with your boss.
All the time.
Right. So if something were to come up and you came to your boss and say, hey, I need to be away from the office at this time.
I need to be present for my children.
Right.
On this off occasion.
Right. You're respecting the commitment and making a compromise with your prior commitment. Okay. Her prior commitment was looking after and picking up the kids. She should have either accounted for the fact that she couldn't pick up the kids. This wasn't hard to see coming.
Well, yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't hard to see coming that if she goes for a job interview, the kids aren't going to be accounted for and they're going to be left on their own to get picked up from school, okay? So either the dad or her should have come up with an alternative solution. That's all there is to it. This is a stupid issue that has been blown out of proportion like I predicted.
It's another one of those weird stories on this subreddit where divorcee parents suddenly throw all of the responsibility of their kids onto
the other.
No, but not even like onto their new wife or whatever. It's their girlfriend. And it's usually like 2 years. I'll be honest, 2 years isn't that long. It's like technically long term, but it's not like
long.
It's not like long, you know what I mean? Like honeymoon phase is probably just recently worn off. She's like, raw, why am I looking after these brats?
So you're saying this is a case of dysfunctional people meeting dysfunctional people?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. Because at some point, this girlfriend obviously had to go, you got 2 kids, that's fine. At that point, 7 and 11, she was willing to let vases get smashed and, let them just run amok.
They both just sound really immature, the parents.
I thought you were going to say the children. I was going to say,
I'd be surprised if they weren't immature. For 9 and 13? How weird.
Breaking vases?
Shouting? Pushing each other
There's
over?
no other perfect age to break a vase.
I mean, if you're not breaking vases at 9 and 13...
you ever broke a vase?
No, I don't think I really broke many. In my childhood, I don't think I broke many things.
I think I mishandled my own stuff. Like GameCube games and stuff.
Yeah, same. But I didn't really break any...
I never really made it anyone else's problem, I think is the point I'm making.
I mean, I may be recollecting this wrong, but I don't think I broke many things growing up. What I did, I used to rummage through drawers in that. I used to be a very curious child. So if there was a drawer, anything, I'd be in there, man.
I think what I did
It used to drive
yeah.
my mum crazy. She'd be like, "Why the fuck are you looking in there?"
Did you like leave everything sprawled out as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's irritating.
My mum would be like, "Why the fuck were you looking in there?" There's literally just your dad's shirt in that drawer. That one shirt.
Checking for a false bottom.
Yeah.
Of course.
Diary? What? Death Note?
I think I took apart a really old computer we had, and I just never put it back together. And like when I was doing it,
Oh yes, processor.
because it was, I think I had no idea what I was looking at. I just had a screwdriver, and like friends of the family would come over, and my mum would be like, "Look, if he's taken apart the computer, thinking I could put it back together again." Yo, the moment that thing was just in bits, it was no longer a computer. It was just like
Metal scrap.
metal scraps on the floor. I literally like just screwdriver in hand, looked up, and I was like, I don't know.
I did that with my. What happened was one day
I don't know how to put this back together.
with me.
We had to just gather it and then.
Just kind of like,
It was me, my mum, my sister. Like we were like, well, if you don't know,
this is technology beyond our comprehension.
even if all three of us somehow did a fusion dance, we'd be none the wiser. Like we were out of pocket.
So essentially, you did property damage
Well, look.
under the guise of being smart.
Yeah, kinda. And the thing is, the computer was never connected to the internet. It had a trial for a car game with like 2 levels.
When was this?
I was really young.
So then it's
It
no.
was a fat computer.
Then it's no surprise the computers back then didn't really have as much importance as they do now.
Yeah, but what I figured out though, that card game, those 2 levels, I rinsed them so hard. I figured out the CPU. The animation was exactly the same for if you crashed your car would fly up, do like a flip, and then like go back into its normal state and keep going. I got so bored with winning in the game that I just wanted to see the flip animations. So I noticed that if you squashed a car against like one of the side rails, it would flip and do the flip. So I just got really obsessed.
So FMV played or whatever.
Yeah, I just got really obsessed with seeing the flip animation, and eventually I just got bored with that, I guess, and I took the whole thing apart.
So you're.
And then
So once you reached the level, and
also the mouse was an old mouse with a ball inside it, and it got clogged up with dirt, so the mouse stopped working. So I had to figure out how to navigate to the game with just the keyboard using like
he didn't know about the tab button.
just the Windows key and the tab, and like the mouse thingies. So then that was my thing.
So once you ran out of entertainment,
Yeah, I took.
you decided to dismantle it,
yeah, kind of.
and then your mom, thinking you were like some boy genius,
Yeah.
slowly
She's like,
realized.
Eventually, we'll put it back together.
Slowly, she realized that you were not as smart as she
I just knew
gave
how,
you credit for,
Yeah.
and she had to cut her losses and get rid of the whole thing.
More or less, yeah. She thought I was dismantling the computer when in actuality I just wanted to use the screwdriver.
So you were a child playing with a screwdriver.
Opposed
So you were
to-
not playing with a computer as much as you were playing with a screwdriver.
Yeah, it was just really fun to see what things the screwdriver could unscrew within the machine of the computer, I guess. It was quite fun. It was a complete mess. It was like a little pet project. I think at one point I did try and put it back together. But
The equivalent of a butchering of
Yeah.
a pet project.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely damaged some stuff within it.
You were stabbing at the components with a screwdriver.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. I guess that's my vase, you know?
A vase your mum thought you were clever for smashing.
Yeah. Look, friends are coming over.
Whoa, look at Alex. He's just...
Oh, he's so smart. Just knows how to use a screwdriver.
I had the opposite of that. My mum had no faith in me.
Mhm.
I had a similar scenario. When I was like in year 10, obviously I was really big into my PS2 because I grew up with it and I still loved it to bits.
Yeah.
And I remember one evening I was playing Devil May Cry 3 and it was an old PS2 which had been through a rough patch, but I mean it was still working perfectly because obviously back then they were built to last, these consoles.
Yeah.
I mean that PS2 took a tumble from quite high up and my dad managed to salvage it, but I digress. And what it started making like weird noises. And it turned out it was making weird noises, yeah. So I thought to myself, oh, okay. So unlike you, I knew what I was doing, but I was much older to be fair.
Yeah.
So I took note of how I took it apart, and the idea was to clean it, yeah. And what happened was, it was like getting late. It was like 1 a.m. Yeah, and I said to myself, "Oh shit, I got school in the morning. I'm gonna leave this as it is, yeah, and come back to it tomorrow when I'm back from school."
Yeah.
Dude, I come back. My mum's binned the PS2.
Oh.
She's binned the fucking PS2, dude.
Oh, she was like, "Oh, it's dismantled. That's it."
She was like, "Danny, it was in pieces." I was like,
Oh. Didn't even say anything.
I was like, "Mum, I was cleaning it." Oh well, it's gone now.
Oh.
And I was just left like, for like maybe 2 or 3 years without a PS2. I was gutted.
Stunned.
So, you know, your mum had a lot of faith in you,
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh, look at Alex, he's a smart lad. I wonder why he's dismantling the PCR." The wonders of childlike curiosity.
That must have been it.
My
Yeah.
mum was just like, "Look what this idiot's done with the PS2.
It broken.
It broken, bin now." Dude, you know what the most insult injury thing was? She did it the day they took the bins. So there was no hope of like running. There's no hope of running to like the bloody bin bag and
No way! It was just getting crushed by the garbage machine.
it was long gone.
Yeah.
Long gone. So,
if my mum and your
so that was my mum's vase.
Yeah. If my mum and your mum switched places if we did mum swap for those, say if that happened on the same day somehow, my childlike curiosity, I mean, I would have been like, well, that was inevitable.
To be fair, my mum wouldn't have let you get that far. She would have slapped
Yeah.
the shit out of you long before you took it apart.
Yeah. I would have come home and my dismantled machinery would have just been gone. I would have been like, well, yeah, that's that, I suppose. Go play in the garden or something. I don't know.
Whereas I have to internalize my trauma. Where were we going with this?
I don't... Leave the kids alone. I don't know. I really don't. Look, basically...
This seems like a non-issue.
It is a non... We're literally fabricating... Not fabricating, because that would...
We're
imply-
recalling trauma once
we're,
again.
We're recording...
This is like a
We're
self-service.
so uninterested at this point. We're so uninterested in this. We even established the story as mundane. We got so uninterested in their boring story of my girlfriend wants a job or whatever, right? That we started recording more interesting stories from our childhood instead, which is, it seems to be the case for any stories of this caliber. So look, if you're listening at home, I couldn't care for your issue. I'll be honest. This is your problem.
May I address the
Yeah,
audience?
I'm sorry, go on.
How did you not see this coming? You knew that time which you allocated to the kids was now going to be taken up by another commitment. How did you not see this coming?
Had to get friends to pick him up.
Inconveniencing other people with
Exactly.
your children.
Why can't your missus go?
She's working.
Can you believe she's got a job
Can
interview?
you believe the cheek on this woman?
She wants to work.
She wants financial independence in this day and age.
Why can't she just look after my kid?
Who does she think she is?
Hey, I'm a good father. I'm a good father. We've established that.
I work,
No.
so I'm a good father.
Dave, size 9.
Now, excuse me, I gotta get back. Someone needs
Size
to...
9 Nike, size 9 Nike. Oh, I've got to... Yeah, so you wouldn't mind picking up my kids then, would you? Alright, cool. Gotta go now.
Right, do you want to read the comments?
Oh, you're gone.
This just sounds like two disorganized people taking out their frustration on each other.
She complained that she's more of a parent than I am, which is not true since I provide an income. Based off of this, you're an asshole.
I was right to have...
58,000 upvotes, by the way, that comment has.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not joking. That's nuts. That's like...
So 58,000 people are with me on that.
That's
and
like-
on how odious that mentality is.
Yeah, it's like almost 6 times as many upvotes as the main post has. That's incredible. 50,002, including us. Like, yeah, we're also
We're amongst them, yeah.
we're
Except
among-
we didn't upvote.
Yeah, no time for that. You're the arsehole. You're also deluded. She complained that she is more of a... So the same comment again is being quoted. So she complained that she's more of a parent than I am, which is not true, since I provide an income. Bringing in money makes you a provider, not a parent. I work full-time and my girlfriend used to stay at home and take care of everything else. By your own words, it sounds like she's been very selfless and helpful. You're the selfish one. True.
Can I just point out real quick that often, you know, when people keep track of everything they do to validate all their actions. That's always a bit grimy to me, I mean, if these things need doing, then surely it doesn't matter who does them as long as it gets done.
Yeah.
I mean, typically, in a healthy relationship environment, it doesn't matter who does the dishes or who hoovers the floor, as long as it gets done. That's all that matters, because surely you both share that space. And maybe your partner didn't get around to doing it this time, but maybe next time you're going to be too busy to do it, so they'll do it for you. It's all situational, but ultimately, I always feel like the people who tend to keep track of everything they do are like super self-righteous. Like they feel like they're keeping score,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how gross would it be if it was the same thing done with like presents?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got you this for your birthday and you only got me this.
Like that one time 3 years ago I did that nice thing for you. It's like you just be a normal person. Just do nice things for the sake of just doing nice things. Like, it doesn't have to be this rigorous. Yeah, it is. I agree.
I mean, you have to be you have to be flexible with it, and sometimes your partner may not get around to doing what they usually do, so you do it. What's stopping you?
True. Yeah.
Beyond entitlement, what is stopping you?
Like that person said, the dude's just deluded. He living in a wonderland. Things were perfectly aligned. That's the thing. Hey man, if we're gonna deep it, it's the thing about life, innit? It just constantly changes. Things aren't always gonna stay exactly the same. Your girlfriend, more than happy to help you out for a time, right? God knows how long, probably over a year it sounds like, at least. And then all of a sudden she was like, well, actually, who knows? Who knows what she's thinking? We could.
Or maybe she got fed up.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Maybe she was like, this is making me miserable. So
you think of she thinks of everything she's doing around that house and how little he's doing.
Exactly. She was probably thinking, oh, this is making me miserable. Feels like I'm living to look after these kids, and I was probably fine for a while, but now I want a job of my own, an income of my own, and get out of the house a bit. Who knows? There's a million reasons. A million very valid, normal reasons as to why she chose what she wants to do, and you're annoyed that it's upsetting your status quo and your way of being, and you just need to suck it up and find compromise. Otherwise, it's all curtains. Basically, it's going to be over.
What do you think? I think we've exhausted this matter.
I think so too. All the other comments more or less just agreed, basically.
Just a throwaway thought. Maybe he just didn't elaborate on other things he did, and this is all we got to go with. So we can't exactly see both sides of the matter.
I mean, I think what immediately dismantled his argument was, I'm making money, thus I am a good parent. It's like those two things.
It's part of why you need to be. Earning money is part of being a good parent. Although your responsibilities do not end there. We've said so before.
Someone actually said that. So hang on a second. Info. Did your GF leave it to the very last minute to tell you she was a job interview at the time? Or had she mentioned it earlier? She's right. You're the parent, and it is wrong for you to presume she will be a step-in parent at your beck and call.
I don't believe that this was a presumption, because because this division of labour has been established and chores have been given. So if he says, I'm gonna work, you call to get the kids, this is a regular occurrence. If something changes, either of them must be aware of this change, and both of them need to come into an agreement of how to account and work around this change. Because this isn't something that he's just, oh, well, you do it now.
Yeah.
This is a routinely thing. Maybe she did have enough, because maybe he wasn't pulling his weight.
Even on that post, though, he didn't put his best foot forward.
No, I don't think so. No.
So
whatever judgment he got was on him, I'm afraid.
Yeah. It's mad, like, even after writing all of that, like, getting it from his head to, a page, he still thought, submit, let's see what the world has to think.
Well, more often than not, people, when accused, will always justify themselves. You will find the most deplorable people, and when they get met with their consequences, they will always defend themselves and try to justify their actions. Self-awareness is not something humans are great with.
Hopefully his girlfriend got the job, whatever it may be. Imagine if it's like manager position.
At his Foot
At
Locker.
his Foot Locker. Yeah. He's gonna be pissed.
They didn't tell him about the vacancy.
Why wasn't I told there was an open position?
An outside hire? Who could it be? The dust of a storeroom settles and she walks through the fog.
Things are gonna change around here.
You were supposed to get the kids. Go clean the toilets.
At the Foot Locker? I don't know.
Start it. Of course, because Foot Locker is known for its sanitary.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course, naturally. She's probably bossing him around. That's the be all and end all of the story, I reckon.
She was just trying to reclaim some power.
I think so. And I hope it works. And I think that's a good note to end.
I'm spent.
I'm mentally. I'm.
I feel like the mundane nature of that problem made us do a really long reach around to like.
I think so.
Really discuss the matter because we'd rather talk about anything else. Which begs the question of why we chose that story. But yeah,
Chair is disgusting. So creaky. I really hope it's not that creaky in there. Okay.
it might. Hey, look, if it picks up a bit, it is what it is.
Alright, yeah.
I'd say we can end it there.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening, or however you're consuming this content. If you want to submit something of some sort to us, a comment on somethinghighland.com/submissions. And that's it. We're done.
Get out.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You think we should give up and this is a pipe dream? That's fine too.
You'd be right.
GorillaHotline.com/submissions. Alright? That's it.
Yeah.
Or if you think we're amazing and, if you want to leave a nice little comment,